Salamun ala man ittaba al-huda. May peace and blessings be upon those who follow the guidance of Allah Azza wa Jalla. It is an honor to be here, to be in front of all of you during the last 10 nights of Ramadan. May Allah accept from us our siyam, our qiyam, our fasting, and our standing in prayer. Alhamdulillah, from Allah Azza wa Jalla, we are starting with 27 juz in the Quran, and majority of these surahs are Makki surahs. And we see in this juz, in this 27 juz, that every time Allah mentions in multiple surahs the balance between heaven and hell, the balance every time Allah mentions the adab, the punishment, right after He mentions the reward and paradise. And we see, subhanAllah, this balance back and forth between you fear, and then after that Allah mentions paradise. So it puts you at ease, it brings you peace and serenity. And this afterlife, this concept of afterlife, we see that after we die, all our deeds are cut off. The angels stop writing except for 3. Can anyone tell me the first? Your deeds are cut off except from 3. Righteous child, Sadaqah, Jariah, Amal, yes. So the first one, the Sadaqah Jariah, right? The continuous charity. That when you spend to build a well, and people continuously drink from this well, that even while you're lying in your grave, the angels are still writing for your deeds. This is where the ICF board wants me to mention the expansion of the masjid. We still have it up here, guys. So, even when you build a masjid, right? You spend in the way of Allah Azza wa Jal. The people who pray in the same masjid, even after you die, the angels continue to still write. Okay? If you haven't donated at least $1, at least a couple cents, even if you're a child, okay? Everyone has an allowance. Everyone has $1 in their bank. If you haven't donated at least once, donate it not because the dollar is going to make the difference, but because Allah is going to make the difference in your life while you're in your grave. The second one is an ilm nafi', the beneficial knowledge. And when we talk about beneficial knowledge, it can mean multiple different things, but here in the hadith specifically, we're talking about the knowledge of the deen, the knowledge that you benefit someone else, someone who doesn't know how to, for example, read Surah Al-Fatiha or say Surah Al-Fatiha, that you teach them the beneficial knowledge, that every time they stand up to pray and read Surah Al-Fatiha, you get part of that reward. Every time you teach someone who doesn't know how to pray, you share in that reward now every time they pray. And the last one is waladun salih yad'u, a righteous child, a righteous offspring that makes dua for him. And this last one is particularly interesting. Why? Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says in the hadith, إن الله لا يرفع الدرجة للعبد الصالح في الجنة فيقول يا رب من أين لي هذا؟ That Allah will raise the status of someone who's in paradise, and he will ask, the man will ask Allah, he will say, Ya Allah, where did I get this from? And Allah will say, فيقول باستغفار ولدك لك. That because your son asked forgiveness for you. But it gets interesting because when the son dies now, okay, the son makes dua for his father, Allah forgive my father, that now when the son dies, he is also raised in paradise. Where do we get this from? The ayah بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والذين آمنوا واتبعتهم ذريتهم بإيمان ألحقنا بهم ذريتهم. That we unite the believers with their offspring who follows them in faith. So not only when you make dua for your father or your mother, that it raises them in paradise, but now when you die, Allah raises you up with your parents, to the level of your parents. So this is a beautiful way. It's not just benefiting your parents, it benefits you as well. And subhanAllah, this concept of having righteous offspring, the people who will look after you, right? زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْبَنِينَ. That it is beautified, it is beloved to the people, the desire of women and sons and children, right? This concept of sons or offsprings. But why? What is the benefit? What do we get from this? What do we get from having righteous offspring? The first, joy, right? We see the mere enjoyment of seeing something come from nothing and then grow into something else, subhanAllah. It's a very beautiful concept and a very beautiful thing over years, 20, 30, 40 years, to watch your son go from a baby to an adult. Another benefit is that you pass the knowledge that you have now gained over your lifetime to someone, your own blood, right? This is someone who comes after you, that you may pass on the beneficial knowledge that after you die, every time they stand up to pray, every time they say Fatiha, every time they read the Quran, which you have taught them is now continued. It's a continued link, it's a continued chain. The fact that your child will make dua for you after you die, that you continually being raised in paradise, the child, he yearns to see his parents, he yearns for the rahmah of his parents, so he continues to make dua. What else? That they do things for you in this life, right? And I know this because my dad is always ordering me around. No, go do this, go do that. Khair. But whenever you ask your son, give me a cup of water, when the lawn needs to be mowed, right? These are things that you can ask of your son or your offspring that they will do for you at a young age. Now what about at an older age, when they are making money, right? They're making an income. One man, he complained to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that my father is always taking from my money. And the Prophet ﷺ, he responded, he said, أنت ومالك لأبيك. That you and your father and your money and your wealth is for your father. That this is the maqam of the parents, the maqam of having a child, a righteous child, who will not only make dua for you and benefit you in the afterlife, but will benefit you in this life as well. And subhanAllah, this concept of youth, this concept of the offspring or the young children that will grow up and take care of you, it's not lost in paradise. We see in paradise that this continues. How? And this just is the concept of the youth, the ghulam, or the wildan, right? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in Surah Al-Tur, فَأَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَيَطُوفُ عَلَيْهِمْ غِلْمَانٌ مُخَلَّدُونَ وَيَطُوفُ عَلَيْهِمْ غِلْمَانٌ لَهُمْ كَأَنَّهُمْ لُؤْلُؤٌ مَكْنُونٌ. That devoted youths, like hidden pearls, await them. That when you're in paradise, you become a king, right? You're sitting on your throne. That come around you eternal youth. They're surrounding you, serving you. Allah continues this in Surah Al-Waqi'ah when He says, يَطُوفُ عَلَيْهِمْ وِلْدَانٌ مُخَلَّدُونَ بِأَكْوَابٍ وَأَبَارِيقَ وَكَأْسٍ مِّن مَّعِينٍ لَا يُصَدَّعُونَ عَنْهَا وَلَا يُنزِفُونَ. That everlasting youth will go around among them, serving them cups and pitchers of wine, a pure drink, not the wine that we see here in this life, but a different wine. How is this wine different from the wine in this world? That it causes no headaches or intoxication. It's neither a wine that intoxicates you or it gives you headaches. It is a pure wine. This is the wine of Jannah, among the four rivers that Allah Azza wa Jal and the Prophet ﷺ mentions in the paradise. So this concept of youth, right? This ghilman, this wildan, right? The people who serve you, our offsprings that not only serve us in this life, but serve us in the next. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us righteous children, righteous offspring in this life and in the next. ربنا أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه منه. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.